good Sunday morning to you all. Guess what time it is? It's time to talk a little sports. I am your sports guy, Kendrick, and I hope you all are having a great weekend. It's almost the end. We're about ready to hit that clock, head back to our jobs. But we're going to talk a little bit of NFL here for the next 30 minutes. So when you come into Club Kendrick, not Club Shay Shay, and we're not going to even mention what happened on Nightcap and Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. I might mention a little bit about that in my freestyle. But here in Club Kendrick, I promise you I'm not hitting the wrong button. I'm not going live accidentally on IG if I got some extracurricular activities going, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I digress. Let's get ready to get started. But before we do, make sure you come in, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That is TFG Sports Media, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SporTZ, HUSTLE, right there in the ticket. You can see that. Make sure you like and subscribe. It don't cost you a thing. And comment. Main thing, come in out them bushes, comment, let me know you watching, let me know where you're watching from. And if you would like to, you could actually contribute to this platform. There's a little thank you icon, a little $ if you want to contribute. You're not obligated, but that will help me continue to build this platform. But like and subscribe to this channel, share it to all your social media platforms. Make sure you like and follow me on Facebook as well. That is TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle, as well as my own personal Facebook page, Kendrick Roline Henderson. You can follow me on Instagram as well at Kendrick1969, as well as TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51, which I am live on TikTok right now. I got couple of people that have popped in. I want to thank you all for joining me. Tap that screen and share the live. Reginald, Ashley Jacobs, Elsie Kersey, I want to thank you guys for dropping in. Charles Sincere, what's happening? Thanks for popping in over on TikTok. Again, make sure you tap that screen, like it, and share it. So again, we're talking NFL Week 2 preview. We got, as I said on TikTok, most of the games are in that early noon window. We got a few in the 3 o'clock window, but most of them are going to be at noon. So we're going to talk about some of the matchups that's coming here in roughly an hour and a half kickoff. So I'm just going to talk about some of the games that's coming up. You can see at the bottom of your screen the noon games, the early games. So we're going to talk about those. A couple of them I'm going to pick out first. But let's go over week 1, some of the results from week 1 scores. The Steelers defeated the Falcons 18-10. The Bills got the victory over the Cardinals 34-28. They would actually play the Thursday night game versus the Dolphins. We're going to talk about that in our next segment when we talk about Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. The Bears got the victory over the Titans 24-17. Patriots got the big win. That was the upset, I think, of last Sunday, 16-10 over the Bengals. The Texans got the 2-point victory over the Colts, 29-27. Dolphins got the victory over the Jags, 20-17. And we had all the pre-game stuff before that with the arrest of Tyreek Hill. That was a big talker in the news, but they did get that victory in week 1. The Saints put it on the Panthers 47-10. And I would have to say, I think the Panthers are probably one of the teams that nobody really actually cares about at this point. They don't have identity at all, in my opinion. And they got it put on them by the Saints. The Vikings got the victory over the Giants 28-6. The Chargers defeated the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders 22-10. Seahawks got the victory over the Broncos 26-20. Cowboys put it on the Browns 33-17. That was a game I was watching closely, and it wasn't really that close. As well as Dak Prescott prior to that game, that kickoff, he signed the richest contract in NFL history, by the way, if you missed that as well. The Bucks put it on the Commanders 37-20. The Lions got the victory over the Rams in overtime 26-20. I believe that was the Sunday night game. And the Niners defeated the Jets 32-19. And that was the Monday night game. So now we are in week 2. Some of the games in the early window, we got the Saints at the Cowboys, the Bucks at the Lions, the Colts at the Packers, the Jets at the Titans, the Niners at the Vikings, the Seahawks at the Patriots, the Giants at the Commanders, NFC East matchup. Then we got the Chargers at the Panthers, the Browns at the Jags, and the Raiders at the Ravens. Now the 3:05 p.m. kickoff, we have the Rams at the Cardinals, and then 3:25 p.m. kickoff, the Steelers at the Broncos. And by the way, Russell Wilson will not play in that game, so he will not face his old team. And the Bengals at the Chiefs. That's a big rivalry now in the AFC. That is the big marquee game in the late window. Then the Sunday night game, the Bears at the Texans, and then the Monday night game, we have the Falcons at the Eagles. So with the noon games, let's talk about the Cowboys hosting the Saints. They home opener. Saints again coming off that big victory over the Panthers, 47-10. Cowboys coming off the big victory over the Browns. This could be one of those trap games for the Cowboys. Derek Carr and the offense look good. I didn't watch the game. I saw some of the highlights. Derek Carr had a pretty good game versus that Panthers defense, but this is going to be a whole different defense he's going to be facing in about an hour and a half. The Cowboys defense looked in top form versus the Browns on last week with their new defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer, doing his thing. Michael Parsons and the rest of the crew, they look good. And, they missing a key player on defense. That is the Cowboys, that cornerback Deron Bland. So they've had to fill in with a rookie guy. And then they got Trevon Diggs back, which he played well, and he got an interception. So he picked up where he left off. So that Cowboys defense is going to be some problems for this Saints team. As far as the Cowboys offense, they're going to be missing a key part to their passing game. Jake Ferguson, he is doubtful with a sprained MCL. So he is probably not going to play. So that's going to be one less weapon for Dak Prescott on offense. We're going to see if they can get a run game going with Ezekiel Elliott and the running back by committee. CeeDee Lamb actually, had a really good, solid game after not being in training camp or OTAs or any of that. He caught quite a few. Well, I think he had 6 catches last week versus the Browns. The offensive line for the Cowboys did pretty well. They kept Dak Prescott pretty clean. So we're going to see if they can do that in week 2 at home. Again, Cowboys are opening home against the Saints. And I think this game is probably going to start out a little sluggish. I think this game is going to be a little sluggish off the top, but I do think the Cowboys will get the victory at home. I think they will start 2-0, and they will get the victory 27-10. I think that's my score for that game. Other games in that noon window, my thoughts. Bucks at the Lions. Lions coming off that overtime victory over the Rams. Tampa Bay got the victory over the Commanders. And let's talk about Baker Mayfield. All the problems that the Cleveland Browns are having with Deshaun Watson. Just a few years ago, they kicked Baker Mayfield out the door. And they basically told him, don't let the Lord now hit you where the good Lord split you. And he has went to Tampa Bay and had a resurrection of his career. And he's playing some solid football for that Buccaneers team. And they're having their issues too. I mean, as far as the Bucks, I mean, they've lost some key offensive linemen. Matter of fact, they've lost some guys on defense. But it looks like Baker Mayfield is going to be, he's the guy right now for that team. Now, let's be honest, the NFC South, that division, when you think about it, with Tampa Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, it's not a black and blue division, I can tell you that. But so I think, just on paper, the Buccaneers should win this division easily. But the Falcons, we'll see what Raheem Morris would do with Kirk Cousins. Will he be the quarterback for them the whole year? Don't know. With Michael Penix Jr. sitting on the bench, their rookie quarterback they drafted out of Washington. So the Falcons may be the other team. I think this division will probably be a 3-horse race. And I think those 3 teams, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Buccaneers are pretty much there right together. And I give the slight edge to the Buccaneers, just a slight edge. As far as Carolina, I think they got a long way to go. I don't even know what their identity is. I can't even tell you their new head coach name. I just know that their young quarterback, Bryce Young, has struggled. He has struggled comparable to his other second-year counterpart, who went number 2 in that draft, C.J. Stroud. So again, the Bucks and the Lions, I think I see the Lions getting the victory, but I think this is going to be a hard fought game. Again, that's another noon kickoff. Some of the other games, the Colts at the Packers. Now, I'm a Packers. If you don't know, I got to do this. Y'all already know. If you watch me, it's always a great day to be what? It's always a great day to be a Packers fan, and we hurting. We hurting. We know Jordan Love sprained that MCL over in Brazil a couple of 2 weeks ago. He's going to be out a few weeks. Now they hadn't put him on IR just yet. So once a player is put on IR, he has to miss a minimum of 4 games. He has to be gone for 4 weeks. They hadn't put Jordan Love on IR. My thing is, there was talk about him possibly playing in this game, and I'm like, yo, wait a minute, pump your brakes, Matt LaFleur. We're still in September. No need to put him in there at risk, and we still in September. It's a long season. Just let him get well, let him rest. And we just have to, the Packers gonna have to tread water. They're gonna have to. Malik Willis is gonna be the guy for the next couple of weeks. And our defense, the Packers defense, is gonna have to play well. As far as the Colts, Anthony Richardson showed some flashes of what he can be against the Texans last week. I watched that game, and that young fella has a cannon of an arm on him. But the Colts, it's going to be a formidable opponent. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk again. You got Malik Willis, who hadn't played very much in his third year, I believe. This is going into his third year. And so he's going to have to he's going to have to drive the bus. And that's all we need. That's all the Packers going to need for him to do is drive the bus. Don't do nothing. I don't try to be Superman. Try to lean a little bit more on Josh Jacobs in that run game. And hopefully the defense can be a little bit more opportunistic and create some field position as well as some turnovers too. So I think that's going to be it's going to probably be an ugly game at Lambeau, but I'm going to be tuned into that one, obviously, because I'm a Packers guy. So we're just going to try to tread water until we can get our quarterback Jordan Love back, who, by the way, signed that big contract extension just a couple of weeks ago. Again, so that's the Colts at the Packers. That's the noon kickoff. We got the Jets at the Titans. I don't know what to say about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, I think they'll be a 500 team. Titans, I think they will. I don't know what the Titans are going to be at this point. So that's going to be one to watch. Giants at the Commanders. NFC East showdown. Daniel Jones, I just read something on ESPN about the Giants and Daniel Jones, man. He has some big time injury payout if that they may not want to pay him, like kind of sort of what happened with Russell Wilson when he was with the Broncos. They decided to bench Russell Wilson rather than put him in a situation where if he got paid, they would have owed him millions of dollars. Same situation with Daniel Jones. The Giants, I think if he gets injured, he has an injury settlement that he went $23.7 million. So he has played very mediocre the last 8 games. I was looking at his record. I think he's like 1-7. And he's not the guy. He just signed to that extension too, last year. And they're going to have the Giants going to have something to think about. If it gets into the middle of the season and he's been ineffective, they may want to bench him too, so they won't have to pay him that $23.7 million if he gets injured. So the Giants at the Commanders is going to be an interesting game to watch. See what the young fella, Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, he didn't get the victory over the Bucs last week, but he had an say-so game. So we're going to see what happens with that. Again, anytime it's an NFC East showdown, I don't care who is against, anything can happen. So the Giants at the Commanders, going to see Dan Quinn, first year in Washington, see if he can get his first win. He brought in a lot of former Cowboys that was with him, as far as on the defensive side, and a couple of offensive guys, Tyler Biadasz, I believe, as a center. He's looking for his first win as a Commanders coach. And I don't – this game, it can go back. It can go either way. I totally think the Commanders is the better team. Giants just going to have issues at the quarterback position like they have. They no longer have Saquon Barkley, who looks like a super beast now in Philly. But, Saquon is, can he stay healthy? That's going to be the key for him. So Giants at the Commanders, big NFC East showdown. That's a noon kickoff. Then we got the Chargers at the Panthers. Jim Harbaugh got his first victory back in the NFL. They should run over the Panthers. Browns at the Jaguars. Cleveland didn't look good at all versus the Cowboys last week. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. Then there was another story that broke this week about another woman claiming of sexual misconduct with on Mr. Watson from 2020. Now she has a civil lawsuit and out against him. Now she wants $1 million, and the NFL now are keeping their eye on it and investigating this. Look, I said this I think last week with my good brother Michael Coleman was on with me. I think Deshaun Watson. I think football is not enjoyable for him anymore. I think mentally he's not there. Then you tack on the injuries he's had. I just think football. I don't know what he can do to regroup. And I know the Browns are probably trying to figure out a way to get from under this $230 million guaranteed contract that he got. But he just, I mean, so goes your team as well as your quarterback play. Deshaun Watson has to play better, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He got weapons on that offensive side of the football. Nick Chubb isn't back just quite yet, but he got Jerry Jeudy, he got Amari Cooper, he got his tight end. He has weapons. He just has to play better. He just has to kill the noise, and I don't know how to do that. I mean, obviously, all that stuff, the extracurricular stuff that's followed him from Houston, it's going to follow him in his entire career. So he's just gonna have to find a way to play football again. And but again, I think at this point the Browns are probably really trying to figure out how can we get out from under this contract with Deshaun Watson, because it's fully guaranteed that $230 million. And if they release him, now they didn't set their franchise back again. So again, I think the Browns should get the win at Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, they big time money quarterback. They kind of a middle of the road team, in my opinion, as well. So that's another noon kickoff. Then we got the Raiders at the Ravens. I picked the Ravens to win this. I think Lamar Jackson, close but no cigar against the Chiefs opening night. And I think the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson, I think that team is going to be fine. I think with the addition of Derrick Henry, I think that definitely gives them a 1-2 punch at the run game. But Lamar is going to have to become a better passer. Now, the thing is, they got to give him some receivers, outside of Zay Flowers. He needs some guys. He hadn't really had a really good threat for the receiver position since he's been there. So, but I do pick the Ravens to beat the Raiders. They got a great, as far as the Raiders, their quarterback situation. I told one of my buddies, Terrence White, he's a Raiders fan. I said, man, y'all got great value quarterbacks on y'all roster. Until y'all get some quarterbacks, don't talk to me about other quarterbacks. They're gonna have to figure it out. But I think the Ravens are going to get the win. Then the marquee game, obviously, in the late window is the Chiefs and the Bengals. Speaking of the Chiefs, Hollywood Brown, he's going to have surgery on that shoulder, and he is out pretty much the whole season. He's going to miss the majority of the season from what I read. So that's one weapon that Patrick Mahomes will not have. But he's going to be all right with Rashee Rice, with Xavier Worthy, who I think is the fastest dude in the NFL. Obviously, Travis Kelce. So I think he'll be fine there. They re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster, so I think he'll be fine there. But Hollywood Brown did give him that another deep ball threat that he won't have. The Chiefs and the Bengals. As far as the Bengals, they got upset last week by the Patriots. They are pro wide receiver Jamar Chase said he's cutting off all talks of contract negotiations now. He wants a new season. He wants a new contract. But they just haven't been able to come to terms on that. And I think that's probably is bothering him in the back of his mind, but he's not saying so. And I think the Chiefs are going to get this win. I think it's going to be a tough one, though. I think the Bengals and the Chiefs, they always play tough. And I think this is going to be the marquee game of that afternoon window. And I'm definitely going to be checking that out. The Rams at the Cardinals is a 3:05 kickoff as well. And that's an NFC West showdown, excuse me. And the Steelers at the Broncos. Again, that's a game I told you. Russell Wilson won't start. It'll be Justin Fields. I would have kind of loved to see Russell Wilson go against the team that kicked him out the door, told him, let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you. They kicked him out, but he won't play against the Broncos. Broncos got rookie quarterback Bo Nix. That's looked pretty decent, rookie, what can you say? Even though they didn't get the win versus the Seahawks. So that was the afternoon games. Then the nightcap is the Bears at the Texans. And you got rookie Caleb Williams going up against the second-year quarterback C.J. Stroud, who's balling. And that Texan team, believe me, it's all eyes on them like Tupac, the late Tupac, because this Texas team is talented. They was in a dog fight last week with the Colts, but they got the win. But I think they are. Excuse me, my phone ringing on. I don't know. I put on do not disturb, and my phone was ringing on over here on TikTok. Sorry about that. But again, so that Sunday night game again, we got the Bears at the Texans. So definitely going to be checking that out. I'm gonna pick. I'll tell you my picks in my pick six segment. We ain't got there yet. Now let's move on to our next segment. Let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa. This has been a big story too in the NFL. On Thursday night, he suffered his fifth concussion now. I updated his fourth concussion in 5 years, and that's including when he was at Alabama. He's missed 5 games due to concussions, but this happened on Thursday night in the third quarter when he scrambled for a first down and he lowered his head into Bills safety DeMar Hamlin, and he laid most of this. It went into fencing, is what they call it, when a player's arms go into an awkward position. But he was able to get up and he was able to walk off the field on his own. But he did not return to that game, and he's not. Don't know when he's going to return. I did an update on this. He is meeting with a neurologist on this week sometime to kind of talk about what's next. So that was the biggest. That's been the biggest question all week about Tua Tagovailoa. Should he retire? Should he continue? Here, this and that. What is the financial ramifications if he does retire? What is that? Well, I did some research and did some digging, and if he never plays again, if the doctor says that medically he cannot play again, he will walk away with his entire financial package. Now, he did sign a 4-year, $212 million extension in July. $167 million of that is guaranteed. So basically, he will walk away with the $167 million that's guaranteed if he is told, if the medical doctors say that he cannot play again. Now, if he clears NFL protocol, the only way the quarterback can retire then is to voluntarily walk away. And if he does, then that means he will walk away from some money. So that what that means is that his retirement, if he voluntarily retires, even if he's been cleared, but he decides to retire, if he walks away, then that retirement voids some guarantees, some guaranteed money. Actually, in 2025, he has $50 million guaranteed. If he walks away, he would lose that $50 million. Also, there's another guarantee, I believe, of $47 million that he would lose as well if he voluntarily walked away from the game. So that has been the big debate and question. You know, head coach of the Raiders, Antonio Pierce, said that he believes Tua should retire. A couple of other former players said that, and and I get the health part of it. I really do. But I also know that's probably won't be a easy decision to make. I mean, because I can sit here and honestly say, obviously, your life and your well-being and your quality of life, as well as that is more important. That trumps anything. I get that. But I also know that if I had $167 million of guaranteed money staring me in the face, that would not be an easy decision to make. I'm not saying that I wouldn't walk away. I'm just saying I would not make a hasty decision of saying, you know what, I think it's time to quit. I probably would exhaust all medical opinions that I could. Look at other safety measures like wearing a different type of helmet, learning how to slide or doing different things. I would have to put all of those things on the table. And I'm just saying me. But again, I understand quality of life is health is wealth. My brother Kaleem Bayard, that's his slogan. Health trumps all types of money, and I get that. But I also know that to walk away from a certain amount of money that basically would set your family up for generations, that would be something you would have to think about. And again, Tua has a lot to think about considering his step and what is he going to do. Again, this is his fourth concussion in 5 years. That's a lot. And the concussions he's had have been scary. There hasn't, and I don't think there's no such thing as a light concussion. Let me say that. I think all concussions are scary when you're talking about head trauma. Let me preface that first. But I also know that again, you're thinking about something you've done all your life. And, most athletes, it's not easy for them to walk away from a game, even if they haven't had any serious injuries. We saw Tom Brady. He retired, and 4 months later he came back because that's just what they do. That's what they've been doing all their life. We saw it with the legendary Hall of Famer Michael Jordan. He went off and played baseball, and he decided to come back because he missed it. So and then there's a lot of players that haven't even filed their retirement players because there's still that window. They still have that window in their mind that, hey, I can still do it. So that's a tough thing to ask a athlete to just walk away, especially in your prime. But I would say, if I was advising Tagovailoa, I would say talk to your family, get all the information you need from doctors and all this, and really sit down and have a heart to heart about what you're gonna do. What are you gonna do? Is it time? Is it time? He has kids, he has a wife. So yeah, I think this is something that he's definitely going to have to think about, and it's a big time decision. So again, he will be seeing a neurologist this week, I'm sure. They will talk about their next plans of action. For right now, he will not be playing for the next couple of weeks. As far as the Dolphins quarterback, it would be third-year guy Skylar Thompson, and then Tim Boyle, who is on their practice squad, will be his backup. So again, so we wish him the best, man, in whatever decision he makes. Now, some NFL news and notes. Again, I said earlier, Hollywood Brown has been placed on IR for the Chiefs. He will undergo shoulder surgery on Monday. He is pretty much out for the rest of the majority of the season. I think they said he could be available toward the end of the season. Now, the Jets' Hassan Reddick, he's still holding out. The guy they traded, the defensive end they traded for the Eagles. He's already lost $8 million in earnings. Matter of fact, he's not playing today, so he will miss a $800,000 game check by not playing today. So Hassan Reddick is still at an impasse with the Jets, and so we'll see what happens with that. The Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown has a hamstring issue. He's questionable for the Falcons on Monday night. This is for my fantasy league players. As well, I talked about quarterback Jordan Love, MCL sprain. They say he's doubtful, but he won't be playing versus the Colts on today. Russell Wilson calf injury is listed as questionable versus the Broncos, but he won't play. They've already said that Justin Fields will be the starter for that game as well. I did say earlier the Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson, he's listed as doubtful, and he probably will not play today. As well as I got to mention 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey. He was put on IR. I think he has some sort of hamstring issue or something as well. So he's going to miss the next, 2 games. He's already missed 2. So he will be missing the next 2 games because that'll be 4 altogether. So he will not play against the Vikings. So now let's get down to my pick 6, my NFL pick 6. I picked 6 games that I picked, and this is 6 of my choosing that I thought are some of the games that's going to be interesting to watch. Make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That is TFG Sports Media here on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports also. That's SporTZ, HUSTLE. Make sure you like and follow them both on Facebook. Now, here are my pick 6 games. I got the Saints at the Cowboys, the Colts at the Packers, the Niners at the Vikings, the Bengals at the Chiefs, the Raiders at the Ravens, and the Bears at the Texans. I'm picking the Cowboys to beat the Saints 27-10. I'm picking the Packers. I know I'm not being a homer, but I'm picking the Packers to beat the Colts 17-14. I'm picking the Niners to defeat the Vikings 26-16. Picking the Chiefs to defeat the Bengals 24-14. Picking the Raiders to lose to the Ravens 31-13. And I'm picking the Texans to defeat the Bears on Sunday night at 35-18. So those are my Kendrick's NFL pick 6. Make sure you put your pick 6 in the comments if you watch this later. Put it over here on TikTok if you can, live, if you're watching me right now. Put your pick 6 again. My games are the Saints at the Cowboys, the Colts at the Packers, the Niners at the Vikings, the Bengals at the Chiefs, the Raiders at the Ravens, and the Bears at the Texans. Those are my pick six games for today. So now we're getting down to my last segment, my freestyle moment, where I just talk about anything. I want to talk about the Texas Longhorns getting that victory last night over UT San Antonio. They blew them out. And I want to talk about Mr. Arch Manning. I was having a heated debate with two brothers last night about, is there a quarterback controversy now at the University of Texas at Austin? I said, hell to the no, there's not a quarterback controversy. Now, listen, Arch Manning had a great game coming in. If you didn't know, starting quarterback Quinn Ewers, who's a Heisman Trophy candidate, he got hurt in the second quarter. He has an oblique strain, and don't know how much longer he's going to be out. But Arch Manning came in and had a hell of a game. 9 for 12, 223 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had a 67-yard touchdown run. I think they said that's the longest run since Vince Young for a quarterback in 2005. Again, man, Arch Manning balled out. If you don't know, he is the son of Cooper Manning, who is the older brothers of the other quarterbacks, Eli and Peyton. His granddad is Archie Manning, Hall of Famer. He had a great game. I get it. 6'4", 220 pounds, redshirt freshman. He had a great game. But he did it against UT San Antonio. And that's what I was trying to get these brothers to think. That's great. But let's see what he do if he's in the lineup versus Oklahoma in a couple of weeks. Let's see what he does against Georgia in a couple of weeks. And then we could say maybe there's a quarterback controversy. But there is no controversy here. There is nothing to see here, folks. Quinn Ewers is going to be the starter, as you know, once he gets back from whatever that oblique strain. Arch Manning looked good. He is the quarterback of the future for this team, for this university. But again, great numbers against a team that was overmatched. Let me see what he does against SEC competition. And then we could say there's a quarterback controversy. And that, again, is my freestyle moment. I also want to give a shout out to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. They got the victory over Colorado State. Man, there was a lot of trash talking going on prior to that game. Colorado State showed a lot of no class with some of the things they were saying on social media, this and that. And I get it. People don't like Coach Prime. People don't like Shedeur. They call them social media. I don't want to say the word, but they don't like the way they carry their business. But I thought Colorado State. They could have they comment some of those guys made prior to the game. I think there was a little bit it was classless in my point. And I want to see if national media, some of those Colorado writers, are they going to go in on Colorado State like they go in on Colorado, on Coach Prime? I want to see. I'm going to definitely be watching Keeler, I think is his name, with the Denver Post. I'm going to definitely be watching to see if he's going to write anything about how crass Colorado State fans and their team was talking noise. We'll see if he's going to do any articles on that. Anyway, but that's my freestyle moment. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you watch this later on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you put your pick six picks in there with a score. I would like to know that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscription button on YouTube. That is TFG Sports Media, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SPORTZ, HUSTLE. Make sure you like and follow them both on Facebook. You can follow me on TikTok at Kendrick1969, as well as on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51. So again, you guys enjoy your football Sunday. Again, most of the games are in the noon kickoff, so we're going to get kicked off here in about 56 minutes. Enjoy your games, Sunday games. I hope you have a great start to your week. Make sure you stay locked here. You can catch me here every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Check out some of the other segments I post as well during the week. And, you know, every now and then I will go live if it's something breaking in sports or anything else. So, again, I want to thank everybody for dropping in. You guys have a great start to your week. We will see you here next Sunday and on the next report. I am Kendrick, the sports guy. I am out. Peace.